As I've stated, this has to be one of the worst things I've ever heard someone taught or teaches at any point. Bishop Zondo is about to teach his church members on denying the Messiah that they desperately need. And for me, this is a very close to heart video. I might have just skipped it and maybe make it another day, maybe tomorrow or something, but I had to get it out today because I didn't want it in my library for any much longer. Thank you very much to one of you guys who actually sent me this particular update. The detective had to get in charlatan uniform in order for him to get across to this information. I'm gonna bring it up just in a second, but I'm gonna play you the video first and I'll explain to you why this hits home a little bit too soon.
There is no way more Tate Gumbi as acknowledging Tate Benku. How can I snap? By few by 5 mission by Buangangit.
It's only few from 5 mission that's because in 5 mission
they don't know how to change their citizenship. And
it's one of the weaknesses of the heaven. The Bible says,
my father, my father.
Magati baba wami, baba wami.
Hawanto.
Into ye. The first one was stolen. The second one fell to the river Jordan. He hit the water.
Nothing happened.
Only one thing was left. He had to acknowledge the God of Elijah first. And the water parted.
Acknowledge. You see what a powerful prayer. Acknowledge the anointing of your spiritual leader. Then you are protected. Acknowledge.
The waters play.
I didn't know because we say Jesus. June 17.
He says to God, the glory of given unto me, I have already gave it to them.
Acknowledge.
The waters play.
I didn't know because we say Jesus. I didn't know because we say Jesus. I didn't know because we say Jesus.
What Bishop Zondo is teaching here is a very popular one. And I've stated that I've heard this doctrine before in my particular previous church. The first church that I attended, that I was like, okay, this is the church where I'm going to be following this particular man of God. This is the teaching that man was teaching. You might have heard me talking about it previously. He started teaching that there is a period in your life where you don't need Jesus.
I didn't know because we say Jesus.
And that's exactly what Bishop Zondo is teaching right here. It's not a new teaching. And so for me to hear it from him, it further confirms every other thing that he's been doing, teaching and whatnot. This is what happened yesterday. Okay? This is what happened yesterday at the rivers of murky waters. So if you go and onto their page at the mark of about 2 hours 6 minutes, this is the thing that he says, all the way up until 2 hours 11 minutes, right about there. You have to watch that particular 5-minute space in order for you to hear what he's saying here. This is a heresy of all heresies. Okay? Because if there was a point when you don't need Jesus and you needed something else, you are probably not saved. Yeah, you're not saved. Because you wouldn't even think that. Okay, there wasn't a Bazalani. That's why we say Christianity is a lifestyle. It's not a religion, it's a lifestyle. So how can you get into a lifestyle and then jump out? It's like deciding I am fasting today and then for 1 hour I'm just going to be eating and then I'm going to go back into fasting and not thingy. That's not fasting. You are not fasting. You are going about your normal day. Bishop Zondo is telling his church members there is a particular period where they need a man more than they need Jesus. Like, what logic do you give to that except denying Jesus? He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am their way. There isn't if you're saying that there is a moment where you don't need Jesus, there is a point when you don't need the right way. Does that sound like sound doctrine to you? That there is a moment where you just don't need the right way. That's what he's literally saying. But to each and every man his own. I think this is it. If there's any video that's most important, this is it. This happened yesterday. You can find the live stream on their particular page on the 2nd of July, 2022. Bishop Zondo teaches that their church members don't need Jesus at one particular point. They need a man, and he is that man. And he earlier on just actually kind of highlights, he says, the same way there was a moment where they referred to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You can now refer to his God. So he starts there with the whole my father thing with Elijah, whole kind of chest. But that stuff does not apply when we now have the Messiah. And if you think it applies, let me not say any further, because you might take it personal, and it's not meant to be personal. You are not a Christian. You were never a Christian. You are you are not even deceived. You are lost. You are lost and you are drifting at sea. You have never, if you even think that you can, that's like saying, well, I'm driving, I can just go off the road for a second now. Try it. Let physics teach you. You don't even know. Please, just today when you are on the road, just go off the road for a second. Keep the same speed, ne? Yes. The acceleration, and go out the road. And let's see if there is a moment when you don't need the road. The idea that you don't need their way for a minute. Try it. Try it. Let us see how far you go. I'm done.
Ha acknowledge.
Ha ananela. The waters play.
I didn't know because we say Jesus.
Nezinye izinto ngeke zivuleke ngoba ubiza uJesu.
I didn't know because we say Jesus.
Nezinye izinto ngeke zivuleke ngoba ubiza uJesu.
I didn't know because we say Jesus.
Nezinye izinto ngeke zivuleke ngoba ubiza uJesu.